Hey everybody, it's Johnny here. Tonight's episode, we've got local comedian Molly Hiers. She comes in and sits down and enjoys a little bit of smoked salmon with me. We run a little long and there's a little interference. Sorry about that. I think I figured out where the interference was coming from, and hopefully I've gotten it addressed and it's not that bad. But unfortunately, on this video, it is there, so I do apologize about that in advance. Again, I smoked a salmon, and we'll do my little thing here where I set up my pictures. But I got a smoked salmon here, and what I did was I took a salmon, I think it was like a 4 pounder, and I brined it. You know, I talk about this in the episode, but I brined it 24 hours, or brined it for 12 hours, set it in the fridge for 12 hours uncovered, and then smoked it for about 4.5. It turned out great. This is actually the second one of these that I've done. You know, full disclosure. The first one turned out good. This one turned out actually a little bit better. I don't know if it's we used more salt or what, but it turned out really good. Real smoky, not very fishy. Really good fish. So that's the close-up view of it, and that's the letting it rest. I don't know why it folded over like that in the brining process, but hey, man, we still ate it. It was all good. So, but like I said, I got Molly here. I'm going to go ahead and let this thing go ahead and jump in because, like I said, we run a little long. I think we run about an hour and 45. But it's a pretty good conversation. I like Molly. I think we had a really good time. I had a really good time. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. This is all new to me. Tell me what you want to cook, or if there's somebody that you want to see on here that maybe we can get on here. I still don't know the name of it. Maybe, man, I can't remember. Me and Molly talk about a couple names at the end of it, but I can't remember what they were. They were pretty silly. And then I was on the ride home earlier. I was thinking maybe grilling on grilling on Sunday morning. But I don't know. We'll figure that out. But here's Molly, and cue the countdown. We made it. Molly, what's happening?
Not a whole lot, but like a lot, but not a whole lot. I feel like everything's still been crazy hectic, even during quarantine when nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be here and just like be sitting.
Well, we are social distancing, and I think I built this table big enough.
No, this is perfect. This is I feel completely safe and sanitary here.
Yeah.
Good
All right.
distance.
Well, just to let you guys know, I still haven't named the show yet. It's still unnamed. I don't know what I'm going to name it. Maybe that's what we can figure out while we're
That'll be today's goal.
Yeah, let's try to figure out a name. So, what I've done for Molly, and I did not do videos like I'm supposed to. I want to record my process, like what I do to what I cook, blah, blah, blah. Putting it on the grill, taking it off the grill. You know those kind of videos.
Yeah.
I want to edit it into all this. The last what I did for my dad, I ended up just editing in some photographs, which I did take some photographs, but I got to get better at my video. I'm lazy. I don't know.
I'm thinking just a few time-lapse clips and like fast video montages with salsa music playing in the background of every single one, no matter what you're making.
Yeah, because this right here would have been, 24 hours, 12 hours of it brining, and then 12 hours of it just chilling in the refrigerator. You know what I mean? So
Just some clips of that.
Yeah, there's not much
Make
that I can
art.
do with it. So, but what I've done here for you today is I smoked another salmon.
I'm
And
excited.
I don't know. Hopefully you like it. But what I've done is I brined it in. It's a cup of salt, cup of brown sugar, and as much pepper as you want. Pepper to taste. And then you wrap it. You put half the mixture on the bottom of the fish. Put half the mixture on the top of the fish. You wrap it up in saran wrap. Let it sit in the refrigerator for 12 hours. And then pull it out, wash it off, and then let it sit exposed on a rack in the refrigerator for another 12 hours. And it's supposed to do something to the proteins to make the top have like this layer of crust that allows the smoking to, I don't fucking know. But, and then I smoked it for about 4.5 hours on 170, 185. In between there is what it kept fluctuating back and forth at. And then here we go.
Okay, well that sounds delicious. And thank you for making this.
You are very welcome.
No, this looks amazing.
And if I'm not mistaken, you can eat the skin if you want to, or you don't have to. I haven't been eating the skin.
That really is so good.
I'm not a fish guy, but it's not fishy. It's I like the texture. It's got texture like chicken, maybe closer to alligator, maybe.
It's meaty for fish.
There you go. But it's not fishy, and that's what I like. I don't like fishy fish.
Well, the brine made it kind of rich, even though it has like a salmon texture. It just feels kind of rich, and it's really good.
I know my daughter loves it,
And I like this crust on the side.
and that's apparently what kind of what you get whenever you leave it in the fridge for a couple hours.
Okay. That doesn't come just from the cooking it, this over the top?
I don't know. To be honest with you. I thought about doing it a different way, but I haven't tried that way yet.
What was that way?
I made a molasses soy sauce glaze
Ooh.
with a little bit of red pepper in it, and you cook it like you cut it down into little squares, little like basically meal-sized portions, like it would be your portion, blah blah blah, and you glaze it with this molasses soy sauce glaze, and then you sprinkle pepper on it, let it sit in the refrigerator for like an hour, half hour, an hour, something like that, and then throw it on the grill and cook it kind of high heat. It only takes like 30-45 minutes to cook it when you do it that way, but you cook it kind of high heat until the internal temp's about 140, and then you pull it, and it's supposed to be fantastic. So
That sounds amazing.
well, I knew this one was a good way to do it, so that's why I went ahead and went with Old Faithful.
So remind me what was in the brine again?
Just salt, pepper, a cup of salt, a cup of brown sugar, and pepper to taste.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's so simple, but like that with the salmon is perfect.
Right, and see, for me, like every time I've eaten salmon, it tastes like fish, and that's why I don't like crab, I don't like lobster. I've never had lobster, so I can't say that, but I don't like crab at all.
Do you do crawfish?
I love crawfish. It's a lot of work, but I like crawfish, and I like shrimp. But when it's like I don't like seafood gumbo because it typically has
The chewy bits.
well, it has crab or not crab.
Crab
in it.
claws?
Yeah, it's got some type of crab or something in it.
Huh.
But it's way too fishy for me. But I can eat a non-fishy fish like that.
No, I was definitely a picky eater growing up, and I would only do salmon and usually like on some sort of fried sushi roll.
Right.
But I guess around like 18, 19, something changed and I quit being picky and I started eating basically everything. Like, I don't know if my taste actually changed or if I just became a garbage disposal and was like, yeah, I'll eat anything you put in front of me.
That's
But
pretty funny.
no, I love smoked salmon. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, like I told you before, I thought about I had a rib roast, and we ended up cooking that in the crock pot and doing
How did that come out?
My wife's got this technique of, it's like two cans of golden mushroom, or no, 2 cans of cream of mushroom. Something else. I can't remember it might just be the 2 cans of cream of mushroom that she puts in there with like, beef tips or whatever. And lets it cook all day, and it's the best beef tips and rice you'll ever eat.
That
It's
sounds
the best beef tips.
fantastic.
I love beef tips, but it's the best beef tips we have. So
I'm going to take your word for it because that sounds really good.
yeah,
So are y'all like into cooking?
yes and no. Like when we do cook, we try to cook something that's good. We have our successes and our failures, but I'm into using the grill.
Yeah.
Like I'm not into eating. Like I don't like asparagus and stuff like that, but I'll cook whatever the hell she wants me to and let her have it. Like I'm gonna try asparagus. I almost did deviled eggs for you,
Ooh.
but
Okay, I'll come on the podcast again if it means deviled eggs.
all right. Well, they're smoked. So
That's crazy.
yeah, I'm
What?
gonna do that. And I found a macaroni and cheese recipe I'm gonna do as well.
Boy.
So yeah, no, I'll have you back for one of those definitely, or at least get you some, because you cook the eggs on the smoker at the side. Like you put eggs directly on the smoker.
Yeah, I've never heard of someone
cook 'em
doing
that
that.
way. I've
Just the
never
whole
either.
egg in the shell?
Whole egg in the shell, and then you peel them instead of boiling them. You smoke them,
That's cool as hell.
and then you take them out and you mix your mixture up like you make bacon. I made bacon on that thing, and it's fire.
That sounds
Oh
good.
man, I should have made some for you today. I almost made chips for today too, but I didn't have enough time.
Ooh.
Yeah, I make homemade chips. They're good. They're really good. And we'll have a special Thanksgiving episode. I fry turkeys at Thanksgiving.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been doing that for about 20 years now.
See, I've never I've gotten really into cooking the past couple years.
Sorry, I bumped the thing in Hulu started. Sorry about that. Anyway,
No, I've gotten really into cooking, but I've never done any, like, I don't know what to do with a grill. If you put me in front of a grill, I'd be clueless, or a smoker, and that just seems like a lot of fun. That seems like what I want to learn next.
well, you are welcome to use mine at any point in time. Mine is a pellet grill. I've showed pictures on the last one. I'll probably, plug in a picture as we're talking about it right here. But it's a Pit Boss something or another. But it's smoker on one side, propane on the other.
Okay, hear me out.
Yeah.
Shreveport comedian, bring your own meat, smoke party.
Come put your meat on my grill.
Exactly. Plot twist, it's a show and everybody has 10 minutes. Can you imagine us all just yelling over each other?
For 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. As a matter of fact.
We're all booked at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the rule now.
We all have the same mic.
Shreveport's really low budget comedy festival. That's how we'll do it.
That's how we'll do it.
We got to
Yeah.
get in the group chat about that.
Yeah.
What would we call it? Put your meat on my grill.
Put your meat on my grill.
That's
Yeah,
right.
what
That'd
you'd
be
have to
great
do.
on a
Yeah.
flyer.
Yeah. We ought to do something like that.
I actually really like that. If that event blows up, you heard it here
Yeah,
first,
you heard it here
folks.
first. We've been
Try to
talking.
talk and eat.
We've been talking about Stoner Fest for years, where you do a festival at the end of Stoner at Clyde Fant.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Yeah, you take Clyde Fant and shut it off like they do at Mardi Gras, and you let people park on the parkway, and that's how they get in and out. So, I guess basically, it's 2 lanes on the parkway,
Yeah.
so everybody can park in one lane at an angle. So that way, if you got to leave, you just back out and go.
Huh.
And it's free-flowing traffic that way, this way. It's obviously not for Clyde Fant traffic, but for coming and going to and from Stoner Fest. And then down there where the disc golf course is, where that parking lot is, you set up some type of vendor or something down there that sells stuff, food, drinks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then closer to Stoner, where that big open field is where they play soccer at, you set up another series of vendors down there in that other parking lot that sells food, drink, stuff like that, and you set 2 stages up. One down there at the disc golf course area where the railroad track bridge is, and then one back up where that other parking lot is where the crossing is to go over Stoner, and then you have just an open field show for a weekend. Call it Stoner Fest. They ever legalize weed here, I guarantee we can make it happen.
No, that would be huge. It feels really weird thinking, like, even considering plans to make for the future right now.
Oh yeah, touche.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, not even to be a downer, it's just something I've been observing. Like, I have a friend who's trying to plan a Disney World trip for us next year. And, like, it's a great sounding trip, and I can't wait, and I'm absolutely going to go, like, if the world is open. And it's easy to say, like, by next October of 2021 it will be, but, like, we don't know anything.
We don't
and
even
that's
know if
just
it's gonna happen the 15th.
right.
Yeah.
I had talked on Facebook about trying to organize a COVID-19 relief 5K to see who would be interested in helping out and being a part. And I got a great response of people who want to help organize, people offering their venues for a free venue for an after party. A few local drag queens offered to do a drag show at the finish line party type situation.
Nice.
Some bands offered to play. Like, it's a great response, but I have no idea when I could even start planning that safely, And
You got a point. I mean, it's weird.
and I hate to be a downer and bring it up, but, like, it's happening right now, It's
Well,
a lot to
and
think about.
For me, it's kind of weird because the only thing that's really changed for me is my kids are home. But I still go to work, like my job. We're still working.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing the same thing that I normally do during the day, but I still have a job. I didn't lose my job, fortunately. Neither did my wife. She's working from home. I work from home. So maybe I guess that changed too, that we both work. But like we don't do anything anyway. So we're kind of boring as is,
Right.
if that makes sense. We're kind of chill and not necessarily homebodies, but homebodies. Like we like to go out to eat and we like to do things, don't get it wrong, but we didn't do it all the time anyway. A lot of times, you come back here and you record a podcast, something like that. That's kind of what we end up doing around here is hanging out, just kind of hanging out. So it really hasn't, I guess and now that I say that, we went to a drive-through safari in Jefferson, Texas.
That's cool.
Yeah, I fucking had a bison stabbed me with his horn. I had a longhorn break the vent visor on my truck, sticking its head in.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
I got pictures.
Does it cost money to drive through that? How does that work?
Man, there was 5 of us, and we got 4 bags, and I think it was $45 or $50. But yeah, it's drive through. You can drive through as many times as you want. They have a petting zoo that you can get out. I mean, look, it's a little cheesy, but it's not bad. And when you've been in, as my son calls it, in quarantine, forever, and you get the chance to have your wife and kids. I know for the people, watching this video, they're like, oh my God, but I will plug the video in. I know how to edit now, so I can plug the video. But when your wife and kids are feeding, donkeys and horses and shit.
Sweet.
Right?
That is pretty cool.
So, and, we get to pet zebras.
That's awesome.
And I got a picture of this fucking longhorn. I mean, he was my guy, man. He was cool as a fan. He followed us around for a while. But this is the guy that broke my vent visor.
He looks like he could do it.
Yeah, he stuck
a serious horn.
He stuck his whole head in the window until his horns hit my truck and stopped. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But there was a buffalo, bison, whatever you want to call him, in here. This guy right here. I fed him and then reached out to pet him, and when I pet his head, he fucking was like, "No, motherfucker, feed me."
Is that your hand in the picture?
Yeah. Oh, no, that's Jonah's hand.
I relate to him, though. Like, no, motherfucker, feed me. That's why I'm here. I'm getting fed, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And, I mean, I can't lie to you. It hurt. I mean, it didn't hurt for a long time, but it was uncomfortable in the moment, I'll tell you that. So, but, no, I mean, it was great to get out of the house. It was really good for them because they had, I mean, I go back and forth to work. I go to the grocery store, and they've been stuck.
Yeah.
Like, they've been here since it all started.
With all that energy.
Man.
We were talking about kids.
Man. And to get them out yesterday, like, it was a little rough on, like, the ride over. They got a little rambunctious because we didn't tell them what the fuck we were doing. You know what I mean? We just left it open. I kept telling sister we were going to see the world's biggest ball of yarn. And she was so not excited about that. And then we got there, and then she was all, "I don't want to feed them. They're going to bite me." And my wife's like, "They're not going to bite." And a donkey bites her,
Of course.
Yeah, of course. I think my wife got bit twice. I got head-butted. Truck got broke. I mean, it was great, though. We had a good time. Saw deer, camel, kangaroo. Kangaroo is being a bitch.
I would love to see a kangaroo up close. How's he being a bitch?
It wouldn't come out of his little thing. He was laying down inside of his little house or whatever with his back to us and wouldn't even look over his shoulder. A bitch.
What a bitch.
Being a bitch,
man.
All right, whatever. Kang a bitch.
He doesn't fuck with us.
No, he wasn't having it.
Us Americans.
Yeah, fuck him. Whatever. Who cares? So.
This is one of my only real outings, I guess, since everything started. I haven't worked in almost 2 months.
How's that going? And feel free to tell me, hey, some of that's personal. I don't want to talk about it, but.
No, it's weird. I really love my job. Like, I actually do, and so I miss it a lot, and it's right by my house, and I ride my bike by it all the time, and I'm always hoping that, like, maybe I'll see, some of the owners in there doing something, and I can say hi. And the other day, I actually did ride by the restaurant, and I saw the owner and his wife outside, and, like, I got to catch up with them from a safe distance, and it was, like, tugging on my heartstrings a little. I do miss it, and we're such a new business getting off the ground that it's nerve-wracking.
Too.
Oh yeah, they just moved from a gastropub to their own building, and it's been going great.
Into a cursed building on top of that.
Right. So to elaborate on what Johnny said, there's a building in Shreveport that has been roughly 80 million businesses in the past, like, 8, 9 or so years.
Not to mention a house as well.
And the restaurant where I work now has actually moved into that building recently, last October. And before I had even planned to work there, because I didn't work there when they reopened in the new location, I started a few weeks after. But I've seen a few other cursed buildings in Shreveport, like the Yabez, if that's how you say it.
I was going to say Habez and Habez.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. That was such a cursed building, and they're kicking ass there, and they have been for years.
For a while.
And I remember going on Facebook because I'd worked under Chef Anthony before at Wine Country, And I said, no, I know him. I think he's going to be the chef that breaks that curse in that building.
That's what I told to his. That's what I said to his mom, because I know his mom. She's, with what I do during the day, I know a lot of these restaurant owners as well.
Right.
So, and she's his mom or his mother-in-law, whatever.
Mother-in-law, probably. Mama B.
Mama B. That's right. I call her anyway. Excuse me. So whenever they were downtown, and she originally, or down at the other building, and she originally told me about it, I was like, oh man, the cursed building. I said, but if there's anybody that can beat it, it's you guys. So what's that other one that's cursed? The old Bricata's building that India's just moved into. Oh man,
India's made a smart move though. They already have a following. They're not a new business trying to get off the ground. But yeah, I mean,
they bought the artwork and everything.
Yeah. I worked there when it was Stone Forks, but the thing was my mom actually used to wait tables there when it was Bricata's way back in the day.
I worked at Counterculture.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in high school.
Well, I figured out.
98.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry.
I figured out that a lot of the older customers thought it was just the cutest, sweetest thing. If when I was waiting on them, if I said, yeah, my mom used to wait tables here when it was Bricata's, they thought it was so cute, and I was cashing in on that, obviously.
Yes, very nice.
And I started bringing it up to all my tables. Well, then it kind of became an inside joke amongst all the servers. So we all started telling all of our tables that our mom used to wait tables there when it was Bricata's to see if anyone would catch on. And the poor owner was just so tired all the time. He didn't have a manager. He was there Sunday through Saturday, open to close every day, and he was just so tired all the time. And I think by the time he caught wind of it, he was just like, come on. Like, that's all he had in him about it.
I mean, y'all trying to make extra money, man.
Right? He's like, guys, grow up, because it had gotten so ridiculous by the time he caught wind of it. But he was just like,
grow up. Kiss my ass. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to make a house note, motherfucker.
But this is the best serving job I've had, just work-wise. The rest of the staff that I work with, I'm making decent money there, and I definitely miss being there. And I think about it a lot, but at the same time, like, unemployment has been taken care of. I know some people are struggling with the system too, but like, I had an easy time filing for unemployment, and a lot of the service industry folks I know have. You know, a lot of the people that I hang out with regularly are all we have enough to pay our bills and buy groceries and stuff. Like, we're fine. And it's just, if I had to be off work for this long, I'm glad it's at a time where I can just still be financially secure.
Yeah.
And nothing else is happening either. Yeah. It's not like I'm filling my time going to the bar or constantly being on the go and running around.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
And you don't have killer bees or whatever those new things are called in your apartment, huh?
No, I haven't found any murder hornets yet.
Murder hornets.
Murder hornets.
Did you see that video of the murder hornet getting his head eaten? This motherfucker got
ate
by
the praying mantis.
That's a dope-ass video.
I want to be a praying mantis when I grow up.
Man,
get laid, bite his head off, keep conquering, fuck up a murder hornet.
I mean, God. And guys, see, that's how stupid men are. Is that guy knows, man, Valerie ate Dan's head the other day. I'm still going to get in there and get that. I mean, she's going to fuck me up. But
that's how y'all operate.
Yeah, that's how it is. We're stupid. Especially when it comes to sex. We're stupid as fuck.
It took me turning 25 to realize that I could be mean to y'all all I wanted, you know? Like, it's fine.
I don't care.
So I've gotten a lot sassier.
My mom's a what? I don't care. Are you going to get naked? Oh,
yeah.
No? All right, well, I don't care
Talk
what you say at all.
Talk as much shit as you want.
Yeah.
2020 is great, except for the whole global pandemic thing. And I know I've been able to enjoy this quiet time, and, you know, if I have to be out of work, at least I'm out of everything, and I have to sit and be with my thoughts, and there's been a lot of good to come out of it for me, but I know that I'm in a very privileged position to be able to say that too.
Right.
I'm not someone who's lost a loved one. I'm not immunocompromised, so I don't have to be as terrified to go get what I need from Kroger. I had an easy time, which is just by pure luck and chance. I had one of the easier times getting through to unemployment. I had a side gig and was able to do a live stream comedy show for tips before we knew that unemployment was going to actually be anything sustainable. I held that, and I had a really good support system come through for me. And I'm really lucky, and I acknowledge that, and I know I hate being like, yeah, this is great, knowing it's, like, terrible for other people, but, like, man, it fucking has been great for me. So just for the context of whatever I have to say about right now, I know. Like, I know.
I feel the same way because, like, I've actually saved money.
So much. I was able to buy a new phone finally.
Yeah.
I'm very close to being saved up to buy a new car just because, like,
There's
I
nothing
don't.
to do.
Yeah.
Nothing to do.
And I've been trying really hard to avoid takeout and delivery. I know it's an option, but I'm like, it's not essential,
Right.
and it's not worth spreading more germs. And of course, I have caved a couple of times
Right.
because, oh my God, I'm cooking and doing dishes all the time.
Paper plates, baby.
And so, like, yeah, I've ordered a pizza and an order off a waiter in the
Waiter?
past 2 months. I'm so
Waiter. Man, there's fighting words in this building.
I forgot about on the go, and I was mad that
It's all
DoorDash
good.
wasn't working.
We're not on the go anymore. We're delivery.com now, so.
Maybe that's why I forgot. See, now I know. Well, next
Maybe.
time I cave, because I'm tired of scrubbing
Yeah.
dishes.
Yeah, well, use
But-
promo code ORDER now and you'll get $10 off.
Heard that? You guys hear that? Order now, promo
Order now,
code
all one
with
word.
delivery.com.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been mostly trying to avoid that, so food's been really cheap. And I've been cooking a lot because I have all this time to cook and have all these dirty dishes. It's not like, oh, I have to go to work. I'm not sitting here chopping vegetables. Like, fuck you.
Have you gone outside of your, like, norm and cooked anything crazy?
I'm trying to think of what I've cooked. I bought a cast iron skillet.
Big one or little one?
Big boy,
There you
15
go.
inches.
Hell
Takes
yeah.
up damn near the whole
She
stove.
said 15 inches, baby.
Makes me so happy. I'm trying to think. I made my first carne asada the other day. I wanted some Chipotle style like burrito bowls, and so I made carne asada in the cast iron. I made homemade.
How'd it turn out?
It came out. I'm real fucking good at carne asada. It
No
turns
shit.
out.
Fucking A.
It seems hard to
Natural.
fuck up, but it was delicious.
I don't think I've ever tried it.
I did that. I make really good black beans because, you know, I didn't eat meat for so long, and beans were my protein.
I didn't. You know, now that you say it out loud, you were a vegetarian?
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian. Okay,
So
yeah.
still way into seafood.
Yeah.
But that was still mostly when I went out to eat because, like, the beauty of not really eating meat, I still cook vegetarian at home a lot because it's so cheap. So I'm used to making beans my protein. So I make really good beans.
Yeah.
Just in general. That's a weird statement, but, like, I make some damn good beans. And I made, like, carne asada and black beans for a skillet bowl. And I did homemade mac and cheese. It was one of my first times attempting it. I did, like, roasted garlic and a sauteed garlic roux to start off with.
For the mac and cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did a 4 cheese sauce, breadcrumbs, baked it in the cast iron. I was super
What kind of
proud of
noodles?
it. Penne.
Yeah.
The selection
that's
of
my
pastas.
favorite noodle.
I wanted cavatappi, however the fuck you say it. But, you know, the pasta selections, beggars can't be choosers right now with the
right.
dry
You would've used
goods. So
elbow
I
if
was
you
like,
had to.
fuck it, I like penne.
Yeah,
It
I
all,
love penne. That's or half
It
penne,
holds the most
whatever.
sauce.
I love it.
I'm in a lot of food groups on Facebook because I'm lame. But there's a lot of debate about best pasta shapes. And I see
Angel
penne
hair.
getting a lot of hate.
Angel hair.
It's
the
weak.
Worst. The worst.
It doesn't hold sauce. It just breaks apart.
it's
Why
just-
wouldn't you just get spaghetti or
Yeah.
linguine?
Why wouldn't I just sneeze in my sauce and it's the same thing? Get the fuck out of here with that slime.
Get the fuck out of here.
Ugh.
But I've been having fun just doing stuff like that, and I make a lot of stir fries and stuff. I've been doing a lot of
You
tacos.
want some more? You
What's
picking
that?
it? You want some more?
Oh, now I'm just playing with my
Okay,
food because
just
it's
making
there to
sure.
fidget with.
All right. Was it good?
It was amazing. If you couldn't tell by me eating and
No,
talking
it
the
doesn't
whole
look
time
like you
at
ate
first.
much of it. You know. So
What?
I'm joking.
Fuck you.
We're supposed to be comedians here.
We'll be
Uh.
funnier, Johnny.
Oh, everybody has that joke with me. I guess I need to stop doing this shit.
No, keep it up. Practice makes perfect. You're doing great.
Practice makes permanent. I learned that a long time ago.
I like
You
that.
never heard that?
Uh-uh.
I had a band director that used to say everybody says practice makes perfect, and that's not true. That's the worst thing you can ever learn as a musician. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. Because if you practice something wrong 1,000 times, guess what you're going to do wrong 1,000 more times?
It's just going to be
what
wrong.
you practice, right. You've gotten really good at being wrong.
Okay, you heard this from band directors. What did you play in high school band?
I was in middle school and high school band, and I played T-Bone.
Boy!
Yeah, I was a trombone player. Loved it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, and
That's
later,
the one that goes out, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
my vast music knowledge.
Yeah.
That's pretty swag. Could you, if I handed you one right now, could you still like shred on that thing?
I could. There's probably a few songs that I could play from like a high school band.
So what you're saying is you could still slap the nasty T-bone.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't like that sentence
Yes.
as it left my mouth,
No,
but
it's
damn
all
it, I
good.
committed.
No, I love it. I actually have a trombone. My dad's neighbor actually has it. He said he wanted to try to pick it up, and I let him borrow it. But
That's
I do
pretty
have,
cool.
I have a Yammer Hammer T-Bone from. I mean, hell, we bought that thing when I was in 6th grade, so
That's cool as
Yeah.
hell.
made it a long way.
Do you
But
play
yeah,
any other instruments or anything?
The drums.
Nice.
Yeah, I can play the drums a little bit, but nothing else. I can do the tiniest little bit on a guitar, but my fingers are fat and my fingernails are too long, so I can't really play the guitar.
I feel that.
What about you? You do anything? Any instruments?
I'm not musical. I took guitar lessons for like 4 or 5 years as a kid, I think. My dad was paying for me to go take classes once a week at like Shreveport Music Company. And I was like, I'm going to get good at it. 40 years. And I just didn't learn anything. And God bless my teacher. Like, he tried. He really did. And it just didn't click. And I would go home and practice. And I think at that point, I didn't really know what I liked doing. And I wasn't excited to figure it out, so I didn't like reach and think outside of the box and think to have fun with it and play with it more.
Right.
So I just kind of got bored of it and gave it up. But I'm not musical in general. I'm very tone deaf. I'm not a singer or anything. I can't clap or
Karaoke's not your
rhythm.
thing? You
But
can't
I
clap?
love karaoke.
Oh,
I
shit.
can't clap. It's so bad. I'm that kid that's just. And oh my God, I find one person and I hope in the crowd, I hope to God they're on beat, and I just.
You're that white lady in the videos that you see that's like off in her own little world, like, what am I supposed to do
Oh,
here?
and I can't dance. And I actually danced on stage with Mystical one time a few years ago.
No.
It was-
M-Y-S-T-I? Oh, that's my guy.
He played at the Warehouse here in town when I was 21, so I guess 4 years ago. I had just turned 21. And I was really lit. We paid so much money to get into that show, and I had no money. I just remember being drunk and one of my friends telling me I was good. Like, we get in there, and it's packed. And I was there with the guy I was dating at the time, one of our guy friends, and one of my girlfriends. And we were just dancing stupid. None of us knew what we were doing or had any rhythm, and we stuck out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We did.
I believe it.
And Mystical, at one point, kind of stopped and pointed to my guy friend that was with us and was like, hey, white dude, get on stage, bring your white friends. And this is all such a blur to me. But I just remember being on stage and trying to drop that thing, and I can't move my
Shake your
hips.
ass. Show me what you're working with.
I was trying to show him what I was working with, but it just wasn't that much. And
That's great. That's
I remember
freaking
them
hilarious.
getting everyone like chanting for me and my girlfriend to like give each other a kiss on stage, and we were so drunk but still just there enough to be like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And it was a whole thing, and I actually have pictures on Facebook of me with Mystical, and I'm trying so hard to look cool that I'm
Yeah.
just sweaty and drunk.
Yeah.
And I went out the next night to a bar just to like get beers after work, I guess, and I had at least 3 or 4 people be like, I saw you on Snapchat last night, and they were pulling up stories. So here I am. I'm on my first beer at this point, so I really have to look in the eye of the way that I danced the night before. It's just,
Man.
thank God, I hope my parents never see this.
Thank God I deleted my parents' Snapchat.
Oh man, oh, that sounds rough.
Oh, I'm joking. my mom's on Facebook. I don't think she's on Snapchat. I'm not even on Snapchat. So.
My parents have both kind of figured out Facebook,
Yeah.
and they don't care to take it any further than that, and that's fine with me.
Well, that means Facebook is done, right? Isn't that what it means when the parents start figuring it out?
I
It's
think
over?
so, but
Yeah.
I'm still so loyal to it,
Sell
and
your
apparently
stock.
it's for old
Yeah,
people.
sell your stock.
Ah,
I don't know. I know it seems like you get more information from Twitter.
definitely.
Like more up-to-date information, like with the comics that I'm friends with. Friends
There's-
with or that I keep up with, whatever.
That you follow.
Thank you. I'm an old man.
That's
too.
okay,
I'm
Pip
sorry.
Pop.
I'm sorry. What back in my day, I had to walk uphill both ways to school.
And I think each social media site has its own persona that people put on. Like, I would definitely say I'm a little bit different with how much I'll reveal, like on Instagram versus Twitter versus Facebook. Like, and Facebook is kind of the truest and least true version of yourself, in that it's got everything. Like, Facebook is where memes that have already been popular on Reddit and Twitter and Instagram all come, and they're a little late, but it's a really handy amalgamation of all of them in one place. I don't think I used that word right.
I'm not
It's
sure
fine.
what that word means, so don't worry about it. You used it perfect.
Excellent. But there's a little bit of different identity that people put on each one, and I think I'm just more comfortable on Facebook. I'm only 25, but I still feel a little bit old on Twitter.
I'm an old soul.
And I tried to use TikTok. I've been trying to figure out TikTok lately. That's been my quarantine project, because I feel like I'm a youngish comedian.
Right.
I should have a funny TikTok, you know? and I'm funny in a lot of ways, but just like the viral social media, like grabby jokes that a lot of accounts seem to have nailed, like I did not succeed at that on Twitter.
Right.
So now I just scream into the void on Twitter and don't really advertise my handle because it's not anything. And so TikTok, I was like, I should totally be funny on TikTok. Like, that's where I should produce content. So I downloaded the app and I've been scrolling through it and I fucking love it, but I feel like I've got nothing. And so I've been figuring out and coming up with little ideas, but it's just a silly thing to be doing. And this is something I've talked to two different sets of friends about. I texted one of my friends about this, and he just said, "Okay, boomer." And then I said this to my roommates, and they were like, "Wow, this is bumming me out. I'm thinking about my age. Can we hit play on this movie?" But something about TikTok is fascinating to me because, like, my generation, like, social media came into my view when I was, like, in 5th or 6th grade.
Right.
And, you know, I kind of started off with Zanga and MySpace, and by 9th grade it was Facebook. And
MySpace.
I've grown with all of it. It almost feels like it's grown with me. Our generation is kind of defined by that.
Right.
So most stuff that's made is for us.
Right.
You know, like most of the cool shit you can do on iPhones, that's for Gen X and millennials
Right.
more than anything. We're used to things being made for us and targeted at us. And being on TikTok and realizing that it's targeted at Gen Z. It's a major social media platform made for adults who are younger than I am because
Right.
there's a gap enough for that to be there. And that doesn't bum me out. That just fascinates me.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
a-
first
it's a
time
odd
I've ever
realization,
seen
yeah.
something like that
'Cause
happen.
I've never even thought about it, and I'm way older than you. What I've got what, 50, you're 20 what?
25.
25. I'm 39.
I did not realize.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah.
you look fantastic for
Oh,
39.
well, thanks. I feel like shit. No.
Hey, me too at
Hey,
25.
but that's
So
my
it's
own-
all.
That's my own fault. I drink too many sodas and don't sleep enough. So.
I relate. I'm sitting here pounding like my third coffee. I just finished it.
There's Coke in there. There's water right there. There's hot water if I need to rinse that cup. I can pause this video and do whatever you need.
I absolutely should grab water, but I'm going to grab a Coke. I'm just going to live on the edge today.
There's ice in the fridge too. So, as far as comedy is going, you're not really writing right now, or are you? Or
I haven't been much. I feel like everything I'm saying could be construed as kind of a bummer, and it's not. Just
No.
objectively, the way I'm observing my life right now. You know, whenever quarantine first started, I did my live stream with
Right.
Fairfield Studios, and that was about 40 minutes. And I used a good bit of old material that I know lands, you know, tied it together. But I wrote a good bit for that. I've only written a little bit since then, and I keep having all these fantastic ideas, and I've been jotting them down, and I'm like, man, that's good. I can't wait to sit down and write with that. But the thing is, right now, I guess I've been reading so much, and most of my writing focus has been on short stories, because when I'm writing stand-up, I feel like right now I'm getting very in tune with myself.
right?
I'm sitting alone with thoughts and feelings for the first time. You know, I'm making this heavy. I don't mean to. You know, it's just a lot of shit I've been working on in therapy, and I've been reading a lot about meditation, and there's been a whole lot of that. And when I'm making art, right now in this period, I want to make something that's good for my soul. And when I go to sit down and write a joke that I would be excited to tell on stage or something right now, sitting there and writing the joke doesn't feel like it's for me. I don't, like, if I were painting a picture, I would look at it and be like, wow, I just bared my soul into this. This is great. I feel like there would be some sort of artistic release that I'm looking for. But when I'm writing a joke, I'm doing it with the crowd in mind at all times. And something about that, in my current state of mind, is taking the fun out of writing for me.
Now, is that because you know there's no crowd to go try it in front of?
It's a little bit of that. And I think that bums me out. You know, there's a few shows that I've had booked during this time, and when I know a lot of people have it much worse, but, like, I'm bummed about my shows being canceled.
why
I was
wouldn't you be?
excited. The
Yeah.
day of the shows, I'm always a little bummed. But, I don't know. So it does bum me out a little that there isn't a crowd, but right now it's just, like I said, I've been attempting meditation for the first time in my life and doing so much for me and getting healthy and doing all these things. And right now I want to do art that is for me. I want to paint something that just gets my soul out there without a crowd in mind. And weirdly enough, I told you I've been jonesing to do some improv and some sketch.
Right.
And on some weird level, even though that involves other people, feels like it's more for me because I'm
You were,
moving my
yeah,
body and
you
doing
were
it.
creating your character.
Yes,
Yeah.
and there's I don't know, there's something different about it than writing a joke and going, well, is this going to be for this kind of crowd, and
Well,
how
see,
can I make this apply to any crowd? Just improv, you're just doing it.
right. Well, see, and I think that's like we've tried to get a couple of groups together, like Zoom meetings, to do like some writing stuff, and it never either it turns into just a hangout session or nobody shows up. Either one.
Right.
And I think the problem is everybody knows that you can't. I can write a joke, but I have no idea if it's gonna.
Who knows when we're going to test him
You
out?
can tell me it's great. He can tell me it's terrible. He can tell me a punch up. I can think it's whatever, and I'll never know because you can't get out there and try it.
Right.
You
You
know, it
haven't
might
set a
make
room with that
it-
statement
That's
yet.
right. You might be able to make everybody in the room laugh their ass off with that one joke, but you can't go try it in front of a room full of people who are paying for it and see if it works or not.
Absolutely.
I've been still. All I do is take my notes when it comes to like writing comedy. I've still been taking my notes like hand over fist when I see something silly. Like there's one that I want to. There's a joke somewhere in this where the real heroes are the people who are keeping the Funyuns manufacturing plant open because they're eating Funyuns and wearing masks at the same time, and that's a solid human being. It takes a strong person. There's a joke in there somewhere.
I love it.
So, but like if my wife
Funyuns is such a dad snack. It's perfect for your whole persona.
yeah, thank you. I'm just right. So, my wife replaced the batteries in the scale so it reads low. So she tells me she's losing weight. But every when I watch her get on it, all it says is low battery, and it's like, honey, that's not the low it means. There's a joke in there somewhere too, but I don't know where it's at.
There's something there with if you can make your scale say a number that makes a word like you can on a calculator.
Like boobs,
Like, yeah, boobies.
boobies or boobless or whatever it was.
I love the word boobies.
Boobies.
I like the silliest words possible
Yeah.
for...
Where do you land on the word moist?
I'm a huge fan of the word moist. I like upsetting people
That's
with
a hit or miss.
moist.
That's a hit or miss toss right there.
No, my best friend, one of my best friends actually found out the word that I don't like and told her boyfriend who I work with. So that's been one nice thing about being out of work.
Is you don't have to hear whatever this word is.
He's made the whole kitchen aware of it. So anytime I come into work, it's,
yeah.
hey Molly, how the pork are you? And it's just, it was a rough couple weeks, you know? So
Is it the word pork? Or
I hate the word pork.
No, well, you wouldn't like the 2 cans that I got the other day randomly is canned pork.
Ew, that's
In juices,
horrible.
yeah.
Ew,
Well, but-
in juices.
Yeah, it's what it says on the can. There's no expiration date on it. I'm like, you know what? This will be one of those things that somebody finds in the zombie apocalypse. I'm just going to put it in the cabinet.
Yup. That is something you would see on, like, The Walking Dead. Reach
Exactly.
into a cabinet, canned pork in juices.
Wasn't it that old boy found a can of, like a big-ass thing of pudding
Yeah.
and ate it on a rooftop, like, by himself or whatever? So
Honestly, that's my whole goal right now in life. I don't need an apocalypse.
get a can of pudding and eat
Just
it on a roof.
Big old tub of pudding.
Oh, man.
Rooftop
We
pudding.
got some pudding. So a friend of mine, he went to the food bank the other day, and there was certain stuff that they don't use, like potatoes. Potatoes, and there was some pudding. And the pudding is, it's red and green pudding, and it says made with dragon magic. But it doesn't have a fucking,
Same.
it doesn't have a fucking flavor on it. And my son was like, I wonder, what did they do there? And I was like, well, clearly they got a dragon, a red one and a green one, and they had them diarrhea into some cups. And he's like, oh my God, I was going to eat one of those, but now I'm
Ruining your child's
not. Oh,
day.
yeah. But, I mean, but it's fucking dragon magic? Get the fuck out of here.
Flavors don't make sense anymore. That's what makes me feel like an old person, is everything's fucking unicorn flavored, and I don't know what the fuck that means.
I've never eaten a unicorn, and I don't know what flavor that is.
Right, is that appealing? I don't know.
No.
And then you find out, especially with the Starbucks drinks, there's always like a mermaid frappuccino, and then you find out it tastes like orange cream, even though it's...
Have you seen the new Fritos that are coming, the Lays that are coming out, orange juice and toothpaste flavored?
Oh, get that away from me.
I say make a bag of overcooked ones, like burnt Lays.
I support that. That'll be the next
100%,
flavor craze.
100%. I put it whenever they were doing that campaign where they were trying to find the next flavor or whatever. That was what I emailed them 5 or 6 times. You need to do burnt fucking Lays, because when I make my chips, I cook them a little bit longer. Man, they're so fucking good.
You
God,
get that
they're
extra
so good.
crunch. I'm into that.
It's the taste too. It's got, I don't know. I like that burnt chip taste.
No, I feel that.
Love that burnt chip taste.
Chips in the smoker sound fantastic.
I never made chips in the smoker. I make them. I deep fry them. So that's one of the things that I do when I'm frying turkeys at Thanksgiving.
Fuck
When I
yeah.
have a pot open, I will literally slice potatoes right into the grease, like straight off the potato right into the fryer.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and then we just sit there and eat them as we hang out and chill. And man, the first time I got a slicer was, I want to say she was pregnant with my oldest, so this was like 12 years ago. And it had different attachments where I could make like wavy lays, I could make waffle fry. You know what I'm saying? Like I could do whatever I wanted with these things. And me and her pregnant ass went through a like 10, 12 pound bag of potatoes in one night, making chips and French fries.
Just couldn't stop. Just
could
black
not-
out and go into a
could not
potato
stop.
frenzy. Just
Man, we'd cook them a little bit longer, cook them a little bit shorter. This one's a little more golden. Oh, those are kind of chewy. I'll cook them a little bit longer. Oh, those are a little too crunchy. Oh, that's perfect. Let's season them with Tony's, or let's season them with salt. Tony's with no salt. How about a little bit of garlic powder? You know what I'm saying? And it was just, we just went bananas.
that sounds fantastic.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I think that's why we're still married today, because we can do shit like that together.
I've heard that Hitler was really into waffle fries. I don't know if
Well,
that's true.
I really am into waffle fries too. So what are you trying to fucking
Not to
say?
imply anything.
Jesus. I like Jews.
And waffle fries. It's just a fun fact. I had this boyfriend like my sophomore year of high school, and him telling me that fact a couple times
Was he
one
really
of the
into Hitler?
No, but that's like one of the only memories I have of this guy, and I think about it a lot. Anytime I eat waffle fries or see them anywhere or think about them, that's all I can think of.
Hitler was into waffle fries.
That was like his favorite snack.
Are you
Apparently,
serious?
I've never
I have to
fact-checked
look
it.
that
Have they
up.
had waffle fries that
I
long?
have no fucking clue, but I
When was
want to
the
know
waffle
now.
fry invented? When was the pizza roll
Man.
invented?
And now pizza rolls are just delicious. Who cares when they were invented? I don't care who liked those, but waffle fries. You know what? We might not want to look this up because Chick-fil-A's going through enough right now.
Nah, let him have it.
Oh shit! It auto-filled favorite. Hitler's last.
What? Okay. So Hitler's personal chef released what his last meal request was. We're about to find out. Why are we doing this? Why did I get us on this?
I don't know what happened, man. I think it was the fish. He killed himself between courses as she prepared the main fried eggs and mashed potatoes, not knowing he was already dead.
Well, what was his first course?
I don't know. I can't see it. Pasta and tomato sauce. Who gives a... What the fuck are we doing?
Okay, if your first course is pasta and tomato sauce, why is your second course fried eggs and mashed potatoes? I hate this meal.
I don't know.
I hate it.
Have you ever had fried eggs and mashed potatoes at the same time?
That sounds like a weird texture
You know what?
situation.
I have. I've had steak and eggs before with mashed potatoes.
I guess that counts, yeah, but there's like some steak to break up the weird texture situation.
Yeah, but I'm also fat too, so I don't care. I like that kind of shit. I love mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes is shit.
I might make some mashed potatoes tonight just because you said that.
You want a bag of potatoes? I got one in there. You can have them.
Shit.
I got 2 of them yesterday.
Why do you have so many potatoes?
I was talking about a buddy of mine when I got on the dragon farts or dragon diarrhea pudding, whatever. My buddy it was 2 cans of that pork and juices, 2 boxes of the pudding, and 2 bags of potatoes.
So you stocked up.
Yeah, so I'll never eat that many potatoes. So if you want a bag of potatoes, you can have them.
Shit, I might take you up on it.
You can have them. So, well, is there anything? I know we're in quarantine. So, do you have anything scheduled for later on in the year that you might be able to do, or are we going to have the open mics back on Mondays, or?
So I don't know what the deal's gonna be with my open mics. I know the venue is wanting to pick up Metal Mondays on Monday nights again and maybe move me to another night of the week, but like Sundays and Mondays are my days off. So we're just gonna play it by ear. When we had been talking about it and then the shutdown happened, and we haven't really spoken about the open mic night since, but I love hosting my open mic. It keeps keeps me writing and keeps me getting on
Right.
stage, and I love having that platform for everybody where people feel like anyone can get on
Right.
stage and try doing comedy, because it is for everybody, and I want it to be.
Now, do you think comedy as a whole is going to change after all this? Like,
Absolutely.
I've heard quite a few people say it's probably going to be the first thing that opens up. You know, it's because it's going to be the cheapest and easiest thing to produce, and actually, you know, it'll be the easiest way to get people in where they can still social distance, blah, blah, blah.
And stand-up has just been so heavily on the rise again the past couple years. Like,
Right.
ever since people... I remember when Netflix first started putting stand-up specials on there,
It
and
was a
people
long-
on...
That was back when you could get a DVD or a movie sent to you.
Yeah. And whenever streaming became more popular and they added more comedians, I just remember people on Facebook again being like, oh my god, stand up on Netflix, yeah. And now, like, Netflix stand-up specials are such a thing, and people
Right.
are getting more and more. I kind of feel like they're giving them to anybody right now.
I can respect that. Did you see Seinfeld's?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I wasn't a fan, and
Me
I
neither.
love Jerry Seinfeld.
You like his show, though, don't you?
Yes, I liked
Yeah.
his old stand-up from the 90s, and
never
it was
did.
he did the exact same shit now. It doesn't
Yeah,
hold up. He's
yeah.
dated now.
Yeah, I tried to watch it earlier. I made it about 30 minutes into it, and I was like, man, this is just... It felt like I was it felt like I was in high school.
And he wasn't saying anything new.
Mm-mm.
It was OK Boomer was just playing on my head and on repeat the whole time I was watching it. I was bored, and like he wasn't viciously attacking millennials and didn't use the word millennials, but he doesn't do that in his comedy, and he was
Right.
giving his sarcastic, like, zen, no problem Jerry Seinfeld version
Yeah.
of attacking millennials a little
Yeah.
bit, and it was so lame. He was, what was the one? He said something about, the phones keep getting smarter, but we don't. And Zach, you
I
know,
don't think I
Zach
made it that
Buer posted that on Twitter and said, I can't believe someone actually thought this joke needed to be told. And that's exactly how I felt. I don't know. I'm going in on him a little hard now. I've grown up always loving Jerry Seinfeld. His new special
I never
didn't hold up.
watched the show. I've never been a huge fan of his
Oh,
comedy.
really?
Yeah,
That was one of my favorite shows as a kid. I still love
like, I
watching
mean,
it.
I respect how big of a following and how famous it made him, and you know what kind of impact it had on people's lives. I respect that kind of shit.
Right. Just
But-
wasn't your thing.
Yeah, it just wasn't my thing. You know, I mean, Daria had a big impact on people too, but never really watched that either.
Right.
You know, I was a Beavis and Butthead guy, and I'm a Dave Chappelle guy, or Bert Kreischer, or Tom
So,
Segura.
have you heard about the joke that Tom Segura, Bert
Watched it the other
Kreischer,
day,
and
yeah.
have you heard about the joke that they did amongst their three
Yeah,
specials?
I watched the
Oh.
joke the other day. It's on you. You can find it on YouTube.
You found it?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I'm
I
not
gave
good.
up on it a couple weeks ago. I was all over
No,
Reddit
and
looking
it's-
for answers.
It's about basically I think if I recall it correctly, it's basically we tell jokes and it's not our responsibility to deal with what you are offended by.
See, and Tom Segura's was the first special I watched out of those, and honestly, once he started giving that speech, I was bored and a little bit turned off by the special. It was an overall good special.
What speech are we talking about?
His whole speech about don't get offended by jokes. Just 'cause
Oh.
like, I get it, and it's true, and there's a weird safe space in comedy in that it's not a safe space,
Right.
and almost anything goes. But I'm just so tired of hearing white guys get up there and not say anything other than you're offended and you shouldn't be. Like, I feel like that's so many white, and I hate to put it like that, but that's so many white guys sets now, and it's old and it's tired.
Yeah. And see, here's one thing about me is I don't get offended.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to offend me by saying that, you know, hey, white people are doing this. All right, well, I guess they are. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying?
But you know
yeah,
what
but
you
I know
get
what you're
it.
talking about.
It's a rhetoric.
Is this the one right here?
But yeah, and then I watched Crystalia's next, and I felt like Crystalia's speech about don't get offended by comedy was the first one I've heard from anybody that I actually laughed at and didn't hate. But then by the time I heard Bert's, I figured that that's where the joke lied.
Yeah, I want to say that is where it is, and whenever we wrap this up, I'll play it, because if I play it, it'll record, and I don't think I can post this, so...
So what we're talking about is Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, and Crystalia have all put out Netflix specials in the past, like, 6 months or so.
Mhm.
And on, what's the name of that podcast that Tom and Bert do?
Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah, I think that's
Bert and
where...
Tom and Bert.
That's
One
where
goes- I'm sorry.
Bert was talking about The joke, and one of my friends actually sent that to me, and it became like my life's work for a few days there to figure it out, and then I just got mad and gave up. I didn't realize it.
Somebody else did it for us.
But yeah, there's a
Let's
joke
see, who
across all
was it?
three of their specials, and you had to
C3V
find.
Media did it for us.
Well, God bless you,
Yeah.
CV3.
C3V.
C3V.
C3V Media. They got 73. I got most subscribers, dog. Come holler at me. I'm gonna subscribe to you.
Yeah, boy.
I'm about to tag them in my video.
Perfect. Genius. We love it.
Oh man, you ought to see the stuff I tag these videos with, man. It's all sorts of shit.
Oh, I can't wait to look.
I'll tag it, like I'll go back and listen to it, and tag it with some of the stuff that we talked about, and then I'll tag it with random shit like how to, transmission replacement, Trump, Pence, extortion, all sorts of crazy shit, murder,
That's
you
fantastic.
name it. I put it in there because I want I want it to pop up when people search.
I could just
Boobies.
make a hobby out of that. Like one day a week, I just sit there and brainstorm hashtags for this kind of shit.
Yeah, tags for what do people search?
Right.
That's what you're looking for. So that's what you plug in, and whenever you tag it like that, whenever they search that keyword, it pulls it up within that algorithm, based on how appropriate is it to pull it up. But if you have it as a tag, it'll pull up.
Oh,
So-
but we were talking about how comedy's gonna change after
yeah,
this.
sorry, yeah.
Which is so weird because like everything's gonna change after this.
Everything
like,
is changing already. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely,
You're
and even if
absolutely
the
right.
world goes back to normal, quote unquote, we're supposed to still be wearing masks in stores for like the next 2 years, maybe. Like
God, I haven't heard that at all.
oh, that's what. I haven't done any extensive fact checking there because I'm not even trying to figure out too much about what's gonna happen next. I'll stay informed about what's happening now as much as I can for my mental health. We don't know what's going to happen next, so I'm
Yeah.
not sitting there trying to doomsday prep for it. I'm just doing my best.
And to my knowledge, doesn't everybody eventually have to catch it to build an immunity to it, or is that something people try to stay away from it until they get like a vaccine for it?
We're waiting on a vaccine. There's supposed to be one by like November of 2021 is what I think I read.
Jesus Christ!
But yeah, the point is like everything's going to be so different, but we don't know how it's going to be different now. But like I was saying, stand-up has gotten so popular and everyone's getting these Netflix specials because people are wanting more and more of it. And stand-up and comedy as a whole, I think, has become really important to right now's culture, the same way memes are. And people
Right.
people cling to comedy as a coping mechanism.
Right.
Humor, like the same reason we make comedy. You
Right.
know, we're fucked up and we need to
Right.
laugh about
That's
it.
right.
Other people need to laugh about it. That's why we love watching comedians. So I don't know. There's something kind of beautiful about how much comedy is growing already in our society and now with this, but I don't know what shows are going to be like. And I did the comedy live stream that I mentioned, and it was just me and 3 people in the room working on sound and stuff. And I thought it was going to be the weirdest thing because I didn't have a crowd to like gauge their reaction and
Right.
see how I was doing, and I thought that was really going to fuck me up. And I was really nervous about it, and by the time I was doing it, it was completely different. It was like the room was quiet, but it was supposed to be quiet, so that didn't mean it was bad, so I just kept
Right.
going. There was absolutely nothing to trip me up in either direction. There was no getting cocky, and and I just stayed my path, and it ended up being a really successful show. It was a set that I was really proud of.
Right.
It was the longest set I'd ever done. And I think there's something people enjoy about being able to watch stand-up. Not everywhere has comedy venues, Not
Right.
everybody has concert venues even. We're lucky we have CenturyLink here, but stand-up comedians
put
don't
nothing in it.
come through Shreveport Bossier on their tour hardly ever. Ron
Well,
White did recently,
I mean,
but
I think the only reason is nobody tries to get them here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like somebody's
But,
pushing to get it, other places.
But if you're in New York City, you can throw a rock and find a comedy club
Yeah.
that is at least having an open mic that
Right.
night. But that's not common in most cities, and not everybody has access to live comedy. So the more comedy we can put in people's homes, I think it's going to keep getting more popular. And people like the idea of I don't have to put pants on. I'm going to drink this box of wine from the nozzle and watch as
Right.
much stand-up as I want. And
Well, the thing that scares me is like laughter is contagious, and if you don't have anybody, like you don't have a crowd, and even if you open it back up and it's half capacity, and say you got 100 room and it can only be 50 people and they're spread apart.
Oh, I'd
You know,
rather keep doing shows from home than do
that's what I'm
a
saying. Like,
venue
what
at
kind
half
of energy?
capacity.
What kind of energy does that build? Just because, like I told you, and I hope you never took offense to this, but the only thing that I felt was missing from your show was the energy of a crowd.
Right.
Like,
No,
and
absolutely.
there was moments where it looked like you, and you just said you didn't, so settles that for me. But there was moments when I was watching you where it looked like it was awkward for you.
I mean, there were awkward moments, but there were moments that didn't throw me off my train of thought,
Right.
I guess is what I mean.
Yeah, because and I know when I get ready for a show, and I haven't done very many of them, but when I get ready for a show, I sit back here and I do my routine, and then I play it back, and I punch it up, and I play it back, and I punch it up, and I play it back. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I do that, and I do it to an empty room. And I know how fucking weird that is because every time I
the
do
whole
that,
process is fucking weird.
Well, the thing to me is every time I do that in my mind, I make up in my mind, oh, there's supposed to be a laugh here.
Right.
And then when I get on stage, inevitably the laugh comes somewhere else. At another word, at another, punchline, at another emphasis, not at that one, that didn't, whatever the case may be. And then it's just one of those things where I wanted to do the Zoom meetings thinking that would help alleviate that because you'd be able to hear people laugh, with what you were doing, and we just never did it.
And, well, that's one of the cool things, too, is, like, yeah, like, the energy of a crowd is missing, and it's its own thing. And, I just said I'd rather do it from home than perform a venue that's at half capacity. And there were still awkward moments without having a crowd
Right.
there, for sure. But there's just something in our human nature that's coming out in a lot of facets right now is like this yearning to find a way to connect,
Right.
and it's causing us to have to adapt. And that's why we have these comedy live stream shows.
Yeah.
And every band in town has
Well,
gotten
but
to
even
do a
the
live
comedy
stream for
stream
tips.
Shows are,
And
they're not even real. They're more like podcasts, the ones that I've seen.
Yeah.
It's more
and
like, conversations with four comics instead of a here's my routine.
And it's not the same, for sure. But again, like we're talking about how comedy is changing, and I don't know how comedy is going to change, but
Yeah.
I know this is one of the main contributing factors that's pushing it in whatever direction it's going to end up in.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, I mean, we just got
the
to hold
need
on,
to
yeah.
adapt around not having a crowd for energy. What we have to do to recreate that or replace that or get away from it entirely, like that's what's going to change comedy.
And what would be dope is if it opens back up and then comics are extremely sought after and everybody wants you fucking 3 nights. Or,
Yes, every venue.
Every venue wants you. Every venue needs,
I already, because Shreveport has like our comedy scene is still on its baby legs, little wobbly legs.
That's an understatement.
And it's hard to like just get, the one comedy club we do have now is still gaining traction. So I know the shutdown is hard on them.
Yeah,
And
I was
they do a
wondering
lot
if
of
they were going to
national
open back up.
headliners, and it's kind of exclusive to be able to open for them.
Oh, is
But a lot of the local restaurants and stuff will hear, oh, we heard you're the one that books shows. Can we talk to you? And it's always places that like I would never expect to even be a comedy venue, but that's kind of the fun thing about it is you say fuck it and go into it and
Yeah.
turn it into a comedy venue. Like the aquarium. I was about to start working on something with the aquarium,
Oh, wow.
an after hours themed comedy show that we still want to make happen.
Help, I'm drowning here.
Yeah, corny shit. And I love it. With surrounded by all the spooky dark deep sea nighttime fish. I know what those are all called, the scary fish. But, some sort of after-hours, late-night thing. The restaurant that I work at was interested in doing something on the patio. I had just booked a gig at a nursing home that was supposed to happen. Yeah, I was just about to start booking comedians, and then coronavirus happened.
Wow.
So that was its own thing.
Oh, man.
I was like, oh, yeah, anything can be a comedy venue, and I think people are going to embrace that more, and there are going to be more businesses, because I've had bar owners and stuff talk to me just casually like, I've thought about it. And then later on, it'll just come up, we're not really a comedy venue. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't even ask to do it. You brought that
Yeah.
up. But, whatever it may be, I just think it's going to open up a lot of people's eyes to anything can be a comedy venue.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about the guys who have been doing it longer than I have that are performed in, like, barber shops and shit.
Right, yeah.
You can do it anywhere.
At
and
a
that's
Denny's.
what's
I was
cool
in the
about
corner
it.
of a Denny's, and it was lobster night. Yeah. No,
What is that?
That sounds like a Bill Burr quote, in my opinion.
It sounds like a Bill
Yeah.
Burr accent,
Yeah.
for
and
sure.
that may have been why I went that direction. 'Cause it may have been a Bill Burr quote.
Beautiful.
And I'd still like to see what would happen on the, because with me, the Zoom meetings, like for here, for example, that's a fucking 65-inch TV. You'd be able to see a bunch of people on a Zoom meeting, and it might help your energy or the energy of the comic, along with the energy of the show, where everybody's laughing. Because again, laughter is contagious, and that might be the workaround for now in order to get stuff in. Because if you did it where you did, say, an open, because have we talked about this at all?
I don't think so.
So what I thought, and I know I talked about it to somebody, but you could have a couple of shows that were open mics or just a 3 or 4 comic venue with a host or whatever. And I thought about doing it here, have it up against that wall. I do a Zoom meeting. I pay for the thing where I can have up to 500 people, and we do a couple of shows where it's
I didn't
free.
realize you could get that many people
When
on
you pay
Zoom.
for it, you can.
That's cool.
So
Okay.
I pay like $16 a month or something. I can put a bunch of people, because that was the idea behind it. Is that maybe we could turn this in and make it pay for the $16 a month.
Absolutely.
So you do a couple shows, 3 or 4 shows, and it's free, and you get some traction. Then maybe you start charging $2 a head to get the meeting number. Or you don't charge at all, and you just, let people do. Or you do it like, what's his name did, where it's a complete lottery. What's his name? Bert Kreischer did a Zoom meeting. It's called the waiting room or something like that, or happy hour with him or some shit.
That's
where
cool.
He has a Zoom meeting, and 500 people can get in the Zoom meeting, and he says, hey, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, he says, hey, at 4 o'clock, I'm going to send out the meeting ID and the password, get ready. And he does it via Twitter, and he sends out the meeting ID, and the password is hidden in a question that he asks. Like this last one was, my daughter Isla did this, blah, 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 and what was her answer, or, what was her answer to this question? Because it was a joke that he told on one of his podcasts. And if you were able to get in, if you knew the answer and you were able to get in, you were one of the 500. If you didn't and you couldn't, then you weren't.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so when it's something that's that popular, but I mean, by no means am I naive enough to think that we are so popular that we'd be having people, flood the gates and fill 500 people, no problem. So,
But we could promote and see what we could do with that.
Promote, and we could do a free show, and we could do 3 or 4 comics, and we could do it just like a comedy show. But instead of standing in front of an audience, you're standing in front of that TV.
I like that.
And you have a stand, and I've got all the microphones and shit that we would need, and I got the lighting, blah blah blah, whatever, and we do it. We do a show.
Can we get a grand piano in here for dramaticism and tell jokes lying on the back of that, like we're singing in a swing club?
I do have a green screen.
Okay, cool. I'm into
a green
it.
screen and a dresser.
Let's get weird. Let's make everybody uncomfortable. All the various comedians of Shreveport, just making it weird for everybody, and a one-time exclusive show.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, and like I said, it's something that we talked about, but it just never came about because I don't know. I'm still wet behind the ears behind all this shit, and I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Right, same.
So, and that's the thing is, like, I'm good with all the stuff that you see here, making this kind of shit happen. I'm a little wet behind the ears when it comes to marketing myself and trying to do stuff like that, and that's where you guys come in.
Right.
That's where I would learn to love how to do that shit from y'all.
It's definitely something I picked up mostly by accident, and so then when I started learning aspects of it that actually required work, I was really pissed off about it at first, but it pays off.
Yeah, and you think I would know how to do it based on what I do for a living and all that stuff, but when it comes to Facebook and Twitter and stuff, I'll tell everybody about it. I can do it face-to-face and do it, but when it comes to using Facebook and Twitter, I just forget or don't do it or
right.
don't have enough people that I, am friends with or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So
I've definitely gotten lazy about promoting, and, like, I had a personal Facebook and a comedian Facebook, and I just got so bad at maintaining them both. And I would just scroll on my personal Facebook all day and not do anything, so I ended up quitting using the comedian one, so now I have to make a new page and actually use it like an adult now that it's been a couple years, so that's been a whole mess, but I've been doing comedy. It'll be 3 years in September. So
really?
it's really time for me to start.
Longer than that.
No, but it's time for me to start getting together. I don't have enough like promo videos or anything
Which
like
is
that.
Something that we can do as well. I got tripod and cameras.
Hell
and I
yeah.
Can edit. I've been
that would be
learning how to
great.
edit.
Because people ask me for videos of my stuff, and I'm like, I have one clip of a set that I did pretty okay at a library show one time. So like, I'm working
But
on
what about all
that
shit
business
Tony
cards.
Has? Does he not have any of that anymore from all those open mics?
I doubt it.
I don't.
He was
I bet
supposed
he
to edit
does.
it and like give people theirs. I never got mine.
If there's a way that we can get it from him, I can edit it.
I bet he would do that. Like, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. He just forgot about it because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But he was actually the first person to show me a video of myself on stage, and it was back when we were doing shows at the Port Grill.
What'd you think?
Oh, watching yourself on stage for the first time ever is painful, and doing it with another human in the room is, it doesn't matter who that human is. It doesn't matter that it's your best friend that basically taught you stand up anyway,
Right.
showing it to you because he filmed it because he was at that show too, and he's already seen it, but that still makes it more embarrassing for no reason. It was really painful, and I didn't want to. It was basically like pulling teeth with me. And I was like, you can't make me watch it. I really don't. Can we please just watch Netflix? I hate this. And I finally watched it, and it's one of those things just like bombing. Like, it sucks the first time, but after that,
Yeah.
nothing scares you. Nothing phases you.
Well, I know I've tried to record quite a few things of ours, and it just didn't work out right. I'm pretty sure that the microphone setup that I have is not compatible with the camcorder that I have, the handheld camcorder that I have. So I can get it to work with an iPhone, but I couldn't get it to work with that. Remember when I tried to record that show that we did at the brewery?
Yeah.
The video's there, no audio.
R.I.P. No.
So heartbreaking. And then me and Tamachio and Glenn did that one over in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Same thing, video, no audio.
The first time I did a show at the casino, I was so nervous, and I bombed so bad. That was the worst bomb of my life. I had written the 30 minutes I was booked for, and about 15 came out of my mouth, and I was on stage going, the whole time. And it's funny to me now, but at the time I was so upset, and the guy I was dating had come and filmed me with his GoPro so I could go back over it later. And he actually texted me a few days later and was like, you're going to fucking hate me. I recorded it in time-lapse mode, so it's just a silent video of you walking back and forth really fast.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, man, it's cool. Like, I don't want to see that video. So, like, if there were ever one to have a recording fuck up with, it's definitely that one. I was like, I have nothing to learn from that set. I've learned enough from it already. We can pretend it never happened.
I know the first video I watched back of me, did you know I was fat as fuck? I had no idea until I saw that video. I was like, oh my God, is that me?
I feel that.
Really? Do I really weigh that much? Oh my God, I look like a box. Am I a refrigerator? Should I just be called Refrigerator Perry?
Aw.
That's a joke. I don't care.
That's your name now. No, I love it.
That's an old football player's name.
Refrigerator Perry,
I
really?
believe. Yeah, from
Sports
the
ball.
Chicago Bears.
I
Part of the
love
bad news-
Refrigerator Perry.
yeah.
That's a great name. I'm naming a stuffed
Are you
animal
old enough to
that.
remember that the Bears put out a Super Bowl Shuffle album?
No.
Oh, fuck, man. God damn it. Here I go again. There's that fucking 14 years older than you.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, the Bears, I can't remember the quarterback's name, but they put out a whole Super Bowl Shuffle album where they rap and everything. Man.
Oh, no. That's so bad.
It's Super Bowl Shuffle.
Oh, so what was the first video of yourself that you watched?
The first show I did, or the second show I did at Bears.
Oh, my God. That's
Tamachio's
cool.
got the first one I ever did on his stuff. And then my buddy came up and recorded me on my second show, which is, I've got it here. I might put it at the end of our video, just for ha-ha. But I've got quite a few things recorded. I've got a really good one of me and David at the port. That's one of the better ones. That's when I got it to work with my iPhone. And then I started trying to use that other camera. I might just stick with an iPhone when I'm out and about because I know it works with those lapel mics.
Right. Keep it
Yeah.
safe and consistent.
Yeah.
For
So,
sure.
But yeah, no, whatever you want to do, we can try to do it. I mean, if you just need to use the stuff, use the stuff. I'm not trying to, jump in your business. I bought all this shit for a reason. It's to get used. So whatever you need, let me know. If you need to borrow it,
Sick.
you can.
Thank you. No, the video I have right now was actually from that clean show that Glenn and Clyde and I got booked for
That one,
by
the Keys?
at the
Yeah,
library.
yeah.
And her 11-year-old son filmed it. Bless him. He did a great job. And
Yeah.
she sent me a link to the YouTube video. So
I
then
still hadn't seen it. Glenn said he had a link, and I never got to watch it, but I've always wanted to watch that. So
I only have mine, but I'm sure I could find Glenn's and Clyde's. I can send them all to you. But it was
Oh,
just a
yes.
fun little show. We had 9 or 10 people in the crowd, but we actually had fun. And
it was clean, right?
Huh?
Clean.
All clean.
All clean. Yeah.
And it was funny because I don't do a lot of clean comedy, and I don't even mean to be raunchy. This is just naturally who I am.
That's right.
But I really did have to write all new material. In 2 years, I didn't have 10 minutes of clean material.
I don't have
And the
any.
three of us were all shooting the shit before the show, and Glenn's like, no, you don't bring new stuff to a showcase. And he looked at me, he goes, she had to, though, I bet. Yeah, I did. And it actually ended up landing pretty well. But, it's great that that's the video I have of myself, though, because, you know, Jamie, the news anchor that we do comedy with,
Yeah, yeah.
she
I know of her.
interviewed me for the news about my live stream whenever I did it. And she asked me for a demo video so that she could use it in the little piece. And when I sent her that, she was like, great, it's clean. I don't have to bleep anything out. And I was like, I know she was worrying about what I
Yeah.
was going to send her because I love the F word.
Big cocks. what?
Man,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. Oh, and I don't even mean to. It's just what comes out of my mouth. Writing with certain comedians is funny because some of them are so not raunchy and some of them are so raunchy. Just the local people, and writing with Tristan versus writing with Zach versus writing with Jamie.
Yeah.
It's funny watching different people
Yeah.
perceive your artistic process and go, why is everything about balls?
Yeah.
Or they're making everything about balls too, and it's, I don't know
Yeah,
why, but
I
here
don't
we
know.
are, and it was funny, so haha, I'm a child, it's fine.
Did you see that thing Mark did? That news thing he put out on Facebook?
Yes.
Isolation News Network or whatever.
Mark's really funny.
I thought it was pretty good.
Mark and I had talked about getting together and writing and stuff, and like he saw me and Zach were writing together and wanted to come write with us, and now we can't really hang out with much of anybody. Like I
Yeah.
said, this is my first social outing, and I don't know how long, and it's a 6 foot away thing.
Yeah.
But a good writer's table, I feel like, would just get unsanitary quickly. We'd all be coughing, and
I mean, y'all are welcome. We can use anything I got back here. Again, I live here, so whatever y'all want.
so
to
it's
do.
fine.
Yeah, I thought David and I can't think of the other girl's name with the glasses that used
Whitney.
to... Whitney. Thank you, Jesus Christ. We did a
Oh,
whole
I love
Zoom.
her.
Yeah, she's awesome. But I thought they were going to do a mental health podcast together, but didn't work out. They didn't do it. I guess their mental health got in the way.
It'd be like that. It really do.
Have you seen the previews for that movie, The King of Staten Island?
I haven't.
Man, one of the Saturday Night Live guys, real skinny, wiry, kind of nerdy, kind of ghetto.
Wait, for everybody, I have to stop you really quick and let them know that there is a dry erase board in this man cave that we're podcasting in.
If you're watching the video, it's right there behind us.
Right there. And it has 3 bullet point notes on it. So the 3 notes, number 1, guy photoshops pictures of dildos into militia protesters' photos. Number 2, I saw a fleet of UFOs.
I did.
Number 3, the King of Staten Island. And that's the one Johnny chooses to elaborate on right now. That's the one that he thinks that I need answered.
Well, no, I looked up and saw it, and you'll need to check it out if you want, because I can't play it obviously. But yeah, it looks like a really good fucking movie, man. It's got Bill Burr in it. It's got
What?
this guy. Bill Burr is a fireman with a thick ass mustache and shaved head. It's so funny looking.
Oh, I've got to
Um,
see that just for
But
that.
what is that guy's name? Hold on a second. Let's do this, guy. So, let's see if this is it. So this guy has been photoshopping, and this isn't it. Damn it. This guy has been photoshopping dildos into protesters' images. Here it is. Here it is.
Oh, not all heroes wear capes.
That's right. It's not the hero we wanted, but it was the hero we needed right now. So he's
Locked
replaced it.
and loaded,
Yeah.
baby. Something's got tweezers in the house. Oh, that one's ribbed. And that one, what the fuck is that? I like the energy in this one. This is fun. I want to learn how to use Photoshop. He looks very happy. Stop. Oh no.
It's a big ass dildo. Holy shit. Man, I like his trigger discipline.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the serious guys or the really enthusiastic guys more. They're
Oh
equally
shit,
wonderful.
Charlton Heston, you can take this dildo out of my cold, dead hands. That shit had me.
Freedom tight.
This shit had me in tears the other day when I was watching this shit. He's holding a dildo, pointing out a dildo.
Oh
That's
my
just.
God.
I mean, man, are you kidding
Only
me?
the Zodiac Killer would do that.
Right. Oh shit. So, but.
Is that Bobby Jindal?
Yeah, holding a gigantic
Oh my God.
AR-5 dildo.
That's a ass-to-ass situation.
But what is this dude's name right here? Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson.
Oh, my dude.
He's the main star of that movie, and it's about like he's a firefighter, or his dad was a firefighter, died in a fire, or whatever. He's a loser. His sister is a winner, and his mom starts dating somebody, and I think it's like a feel-good movie, whatever. Looks fantastic.
I'm so fascinated right now with Pete Davidson as a concept because he just blew up, and he is this goofy guy who has absolutely no idea what he's doing in general, in the big picture, or at any given moment. Like, I watched it. Did you watch his Netflix special?
I have not yet.
Okay, so he's got some bangers in there. Like, some of those jokes hit and made me laugh really hard. But in the filler, in between, if you really listen to him, you could tell he just does not quite have the chops for an hour-long special.
Right.
But I still had big love for him because what he did say was so funny, and I love how awkward and uncomfortable he is. And at one point, he even kind of acknowledged that he didn't have those chops, and he said something, and then he was like, yeah, they're giving these specials to everybody, which is true, and I've said that, but he just straight up, and I watched his episode of Hot Ones, and he was kind of the same way, being very open about how much these wings were kicking his ass, and saying, you know, oh, obviously Ariana Grande made me famous, yeah. And he just gives off this air of, I don't know how I got here.
Yeah, I'm just
but
happy
he's
to be here.
blowing up right now, and he's just riding the wave, and he's more confused than anyone, and I just love it.
Well, something tells me this movie's going to do good for him because it looks like a really good movie.
And he says some dumb shit sometimes, and it's like, you can't say that, Pete! Yeah. But he's just like the sweetest, most innocent type of dumb, and I think everyone just like likes watching him go, so we go easy on him.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've only seen him on, was Saturday Night Live? He's on SNL?
Yeah. His special, he talks pretty openly about some beef him and Louis C.K. had working on SNL together.
That was on he did an interview and talked shit about that.
So, oh really? I need to find that. Well, now Louis
C.K.
C.K.
Louis C.K. talks at you or some shit like that.
Yeah, and Louis tried to get Pete fired for smoking too much weed and stuff like that. But it was funny as hell. And now Louis has a special, which I would not be watching Louis' special on principle, but I would watch it for science to see what he's doing with his comeback and to see if he roasts Pete Davidson back.
Want to watch it?
I want to see that. Well, you have to pay for it.
I already got it.
You already got it?
I already bought it.
I'm on the fence. I really am. I don't want to support him, but I feel like if someone else has spent the money that it doesn't matter. I'm very on the fence. So you just let me think on that.
I put it on Thumb Drive.
Was it good?
I liked it. I'm a Louis C.K. fan.
I mean, I always loved his stand-up until he whipped his dick out.
He never whipped his dick out in front of me, so...
Well,
again, I don't take offense.
Your
to
privilege
things.
is showing.
Well, again, no, my pants are zipped up. I don't take offense to. I don't take offense to much. And
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things that if I was offended by him, I wouldn't watch him. But again.
So who's your favorite comedian?
I mean, it's going to be top. It's hard to put a finger on one.
Absolutely. I say the same thing when people ask me.
When a special comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I love Jim Gaffigan. So my top 5. Jim Gaffigan, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., Bert Kreischer, and Tom Segura. Those are my top 5.
That's a good lineup.
Yeah.
I love Tom Segura so much.
I love Tom Segura. I think Bert is retarded funny. His podcasts are starting to fall off a little bit for me because it kind of seems like it's repetitive.
Yeah.
Same thing over and over again. But I'm still a huge fan. I love that Two Bears, One Cave that we were talking about earlier.
Great.
Yeah, it's
no,
funny,
a buddy of mine showed me
shit.
that, and I got hooked.
But Louis C.K., like, he acknowledges it and talks about it in this special, and the way he does it's great. It's great. I mean, and it might actually re-establish you as a fan of his. Maybe. I understand, your opinion on whatever happened. I'm not going to get into that because we're trying to keep it jovial.
We're having a good time.
Yeah. But I've always enjoyed his stand-up, and this last special, as soon as I saw that it was out, I bought it. I think the day it came out, I bought it.
I
And I've
have
watched it
been
2 or 3 times, and it's funny.
I
It
love
is.
rewatching specials, and I've had
Yeah.
friends tell me I'm crazy for that. But like, I just watched John Mulaney's The Comeback Kid for probably the 6th time, and
Yeah.
I still laugh out loud every time he goes, "Eat ass, suck a dick,
Yep.
and sell drugs." Like, I lose it. I love rewatching shit. Oh my god, I had a surgery a few years ago, and I had borrowed a stack of books this high from one of my friends just to read for like my couple weeks off of work, you know,
Right.
just lie in bed and read. And I was so doped up on painkillers that I couldn't read a book, so I just rewatched all my old favorite stand-up specials for 2 weeks straight, and I had a great time. And now I do it anytime I'm just like in need of comfort. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this special again.
I like Jim Gaffigan's. I love
I
rewatching his.
love
Yeah.
him. So
Yeah.
my favorite comedian right now is Eliza Schlesinger.
She's pretty funny.
And she was getting a special every 2 years, and then she got one in 2018 and 2019 with only a year apart because she got married, and
Had a
she
kid
did
or something,
a
right?
special. No, but she got married, and she did a special on a cruise ship, and it was
Okay.
just a really cool thing. And so I think that was just a big thing for her to share. And she just put out a sketch show on Netflix.
I haven't seen it yet, but I first heard about it
It is
last week, or
so
somebody was talking about it.
funny. She's hands down my favorite. Like, I loved following her years ago when she won Last Comic Standing. I thought it was so cool
Yeah.
to watch a woman do that,
Right.
and I always wanted to do that. And then I forgot about her for a few years, and I rediscovered her, I think, when she put out Confirmed Kills. I started doing comedy a little bit after that. And then when I came back and rewatched all of her old specials that had already been on Netflix and started catching back up with her, I realized it's so much about her style with like physical comedy and a lot of her rants and stuff. I realized that that was a lot of the vibe and style that I had been going for without
Right.
realizing
Right.
it. And I don't know if I was subconsciously idolizing her from the past or if it just happened that way. But I
Well, I've
love
heard
her.
quite a few comics talk about you in the beginning when you're trying to learn it. You realize at some point that you're emulating somebody.
Somebody, and
Yeah,
she is
then-
absolutely mine.
I want to say it was what's his name? Joe Rogan was talking about. He realized that he was emulating like Bill Hicks in the middle of emulating Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
And he wasn't stealing his material, but he was delivering it like that. And and he was like, what the fuck am I doing? And it made him change everything. So,
It's it's definitely tough to break away from, and it's kind of made me work on my own, figuring out what my thing is more, which has been hard to do because most of the shows that I'm involved in, I'm hosting,
right.
because those are most of the shows that happen.
Right,
Other
and
than
it's hard for you can't really, as a host, you have to kind of,
I have to
you
keep
can't
it
do,
going.
Yeah, you can't do a 15-minute.
Right, and I can fuck around and do that at open mic usually. Like, if the sign-up list doesn't fill up, this thing's only going to last till like 10, 15, fuck it, I'll stand up here and talk for an extra 15 minutes. The
Right.
crowd's kind of dead. Let me test this out. And like a friend of mine who was really involved in the Memphis comedy scene before she moved back home was telling me about, she knew a guy like me that did most of the hosting, and he said fuck it and gave himself sets when he wanted to. And she was like, why don't you do that? Like, you brought this comedy scene here. Why don't you just give yourself a set? And I was like, shit, you're right. And then I started booking shows, and then the coronavirus happened.
Because I wanted to ask you about, like, and we don't have to get into details or anything like that, but you pretty much set up what we have here now,
Yeah,
right?
I did my best to.
Could you
and
do that again?
I think I could.
How much money would you need?
How much what?
How much money would you need?
I don't know. The way I did it with Shreveport was such a specific situation that I had. I could do it in another city. I don't know how much money I would
Could you
need.
do it again here?
Here?
Yeah.
Revive the comedy scene again?
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
What would we need? Obviously, quarantine to lift.
Absolutely.
And we don't have to. We can do that later. I'm not meaning to put you on the
Absolutely.
spot, but
What we need right now
we
is fresh
definitely-
talent.
We definitely need more than one venue to do open mics on a consistent basis, and we need somebody actively trying to get comics here.
That's what I was going to say is the biggest thing, because we have participating comics who would open for anybody. We have lots of willing venues and venue owners. We have people who can host besides just me. Like, they
Right.
don't often, but like David Allen is a fantastic host. Back
Right.
when Jacob was doing comedy regularly, he was amazing. Like, other people can do it.
Who's Jacob?
Jacob Wilson, he was in the comedy scene for a while before I got in it, and then when I kind of brought it back, he started doing a bunch of shows with me, and he would host for me, but it's
Wonder if
been
I've
like
met-
over a year since I saw him. got like moved up in his job and has just been like balls deep in his career, and I think he has a baby on the way now, so he
wonder
just
if I've
hasn't
met
been in
him.
the scene.
I don't know if I've
Maybe
met him. Name doesn't sound familiar at all, but I'm terrible on
tall-ish,
names.
tall, awkward, pretty blonde dude. But you
No
know, we
clue.
have people who can host, we have venues, we have easy means of promotion because we have a lot of papers and stuff that know what we're doing and are interested in it. I get asked by the Heliopolis and stuff sometimes, like, you know, and they want to ask all of us. We need fresh talent because what I'm doing is still not what we have going isn't that different than what I had when we started. It's just not as new and fresh, and people are tired of seeing the same comedians.
Right.
And none of us can write enough material while because we're not making enough money to quit our day jobs doing comedy in Shreveport. It's definitely a hobby, and none of us can take the time to write enough material and be good at enough material to really just sustain this thing on our own. And I think a lot of people have leaned on me, and I hate to say that and be cocky, but just because I've been the show host lady, that's just how things go.
That's
You know, I don't
you
think
were definitely the one that I was told to reach out to, you and
And-
Tamaccio, and then Tamaccio kind of fell off, and it was you that
Yeah,
kept running with
and
it.
I love what I do, and I do get bummed sometimes that people go, when are you going to do a set? And I go, I don't fucking know, host a show and book me, like, fuck. Sometimes it feels a little like that. Overall, I love what I'm doing, but I know that there's a little bit of a nudge in my direction to be like, hey, Molly, you're the one who needs to get these big names. So that's...
Well, how do we get names? Emails? What do we
It's
start doing?
all about
Reaching out?
knowing people. We've got to start getting our hands dirty in that. I've been a little scared too. I've been really comfortable with what I have going, which was nice for a while, and comfortable gets old really quick. So now I'm having to remind myself to get out of my
Right.
comfort zone
Well, but like
again.
if we need talent, then I mean I guess that's the next step is figure out how to actually
Yeah,
reach out to these
so that's
people.
my next
Because
step.
at the end of the day, we can figure out how to raise money to pay for it.
Right. And that's what I was saying is I think my next step is reaching out of my comfort zone long enough to figure that out. And I think more and more of us want this the longer it goes on, and more of us are willing to. And like you are enthusiastic about it now. I'm trying to reach out of that. Like more of us local comedians want this to actually be a
Right.
thing.
Well, I've been enthusiastic about it for a while.
Absolutely.
But I have a family and I have a job that I have
Right.
to maintain, and I do my best to try to, get out there. But I know I could be doing a whole lot more.
Oh, and I
But-
could too.
But the thing is I see, and if you take offense to this, maybe I am talking to you, not you, but anybody that's listening. If you take offense to this, maybe I am talking to you. But it feels like we got a lot of people who are very half-assed about it, and that they're like, yeah. Hey man, where you at? Hello, where you at? Hello?
Yeah. And another thing that frustrates me is people forget that we don't just need comedians, we need audience members. And that's not for me to
Right.
say to like stop people from trying to do stuff, but like I try to get people to come out to open mics just to keep the energy of the scene alive. And people go,
Right.
oh, I'm not going to get on stage. And I'm like, no, you fucking, it's just like karaoke night. You show up and you sign up if you want to do it, and if not, you just sit at the fucking bar.
Yeah, hang
And
out
that
and
sounds
chill.
mean, and that's definitely not the attitude I need to take explaining things as a promoter.
Yeah,
but Jesus, fuck, come watch people tell jokes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make you get on stage. Don't flinch like I'm going to force you. Just because I said you can come. If you don't sign up, you just get a beer and watch. And we need that. We have
Yeah,
comedians.
we need that just as much as we need.
And
you
we have
know.
so many people going, why don't you do this, blah, blah, blah. We want these shows. We want these shows. And then we do these shows, and then they don't show up. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, we can't. And they'll get mad that we don't have them anymore. And, you know, I started off doing shows on Monday nights, and my open mic is still on Mondays. I've had 3 jobs in a row where Sunday, Monday was my weekend, and it just worked out. But I have a lot of people with weekday day jobs that cannot do that. They say, when are you going to do a show on a weekend? So I finally booked some Friday and Saturday night gigs, and those people still find reasons to not
Right.
come.
Yeah.
And then they'll come apologize to me for it, and it's like, I don't want an apology because my feelings personally are not hurt. But as an artist, I am frustrated that I'm trying to make this happen, and we're doing it for the people that asked for it, and they
Right.
don't always want to support. And
Right.
I guess I'm being really negative. There are a lot of
No,
positive
no.
sides to that coin, but that
Well,
is an obstacle that we're
But
actively facing.
Shreveport is notorious for not supporting anything. I mean, look at the convention center. Look
And
at the baseball team.
And everything we do have that we've built up has just been it. I love watching it grow, but I feel like everything's been very slowly growing, and I feel like it would just take this much more enthusiasm from everybody to make
Right.
things grow and progress at the rate of a bigger city.
Yeah, but in reality, what really does grow? Not much.
Right.
And that's the thing is like we couldn't support. I mean, we had a basketball team here that apparently won multiple championships in their division, league, or whatever it was. We have the Mudbugs that have been kicking ass for decades, you know what I mean, that nobody goes and sees. We had the Shreveport Captains that when I was growing up, I mean, the ballpark was packed every fucking night that you went. We went 4 nights a week, 3 nights a week when I was a kid. Always going.
I love that our city has the hardest time showing up for stuff.
It's the craziest
But we've had
thing.
the hardest time staying away from each other during this isolation.
Yeah.
Our city sucks at social distancing. Shreveport got its own shout out on CNN
Yeah.
for our super high
Yeah.
coronavirus rates. John Bell Edwards, our governor, called out Caddo Parish the other day for an 11% increase in cases.
Yeah, we high five too much.
Now everybody's showing up like Jesus fuck.
Well, I think one of the problems here is that people are broke in Shreveport. You know, this isn't a very lucrative city to live in unless you're in, like, nursing.
And the big money is usually a little older.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah, there's
There's not nouveau money in Shreveport.
that.
Nouveau
And-
money moves to Austin.
Yeah, or it moves to Dallas, or it moves to Colorado.
Colorado.
Or California. Probably not California because it's so goddamn expensive. But
Colorado's just California light now.
yeah, money has a tendency to leave this place because of the way it's set up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's a lot that we could get into that, but again, we're not trying to date. We're not doing that kind of dive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I have my opinions on why it is. I'm sure you do as yours. You know, and they're both they're both right. You
That's
know what I mean?
yeah.
And
There's
that's the
a
thing,
million
is there's-
guesses you could make
and
that are
there's-
all
And there's
contributing.
too many people in this town that won't have that conversation like that. Where you know what, you're right and I'm right, and this is the problem. But
Right.
instead, it's like, no, you're the problem because you're not agreeing with me. And that's, man, this fucking city it has the potential to be something fantastic because logistically, we have a position in, you know, we've got pipelines that run through here. We've got interstates that run through here. We've got trains that run through here. We've got an infrastructure that could be utilized, tapped into, improved, and then something be done. Because, I mean, one of the simplest things I think that could be done that would help our area big time is just opening not KCS, but Amtrak from Marshall to Jackson, Mississippi via the I-20 corridor, you know, through the railroad.
Yeah.
Because what happens from there is, you know, you've got, isn't there a college in right there in Marshall? There's a university in Marshall, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
it's like,
probably right.
It's a small one. It's like a BIPSI or something like that. But we've got BIPSI, we've got Centenary, we've got LSUS, we've got Grambling, Tech, ULM, and then you get over into Mississippi and you've got Millsaps and whatever else is right there in Jackson. That's 7 colleges in this corridor of students that could travel back and forth as often as they want. If you had 2 trains, you know, they run daily to Jackson and then back to Marshall, and it just goes back and forth, back
Yup.
and forth. All the kids that, you know, go to Tech could ride back to Shreveport for cheap. Because, I mean, me and my wife rode to Dallas on the train. It was $31 there and back total for both of us.
That sounds great.
It was a cool little ride. You know what I'm saying? It was just like riding a bus, but it was quicker. You know, it was just like driving, but it was,
I didn't know there was a train that took you from Shreveport to Dallas.
It's not. It takes you from Marshall to Dallas. Excuse
Marshall
me.
to
Yeah,
Dallas.
You got to drive
Okay.
over to Marshall. But
That's
if
real cool.
If that train came here and you could jump on a train from Shreveport and make it to Dallas, that train would get utilized a lot more.
Absolutely.
And if you could jump on a train and make it from Dallas to Jackson, or you could make it from Shreveport to New Orleans without having to go through Chicago, people would utilize Amtrak a lot more. And I think that's things that would help benefit our little area where we are and make things a little bit easier on people. Because,
For sure.
you know, if you can't get back and forth to school, you end up going to school here and you don't chase your dreams.
Man, I would love something that takes you back and forth between the college towns for the sake of doing comedy on college campuses.
Even that.
People could go from campus to campus,
Yeah.
say, hey, I loved this guy on the tech campus. I'm going to go see him at this college
Correct.
in Marshall. Fuck
Right.
it. And that makes it easier for, you know, comedians who get DUIs and lose their PT Cruisers. You know, take a train, go
You
do
had
a
PT
show.
Cruiser, you deserve to lose. No, I'm
I
kidding.
know I did. It was my PT Bruiser, but man, she was unreliable.
Pieces of shit, man. We've been doing this for an hour and a half.
Have we really?
I was wanting to go like 30 minutes. I didn't think it had gone that long.
Me either. That's cool.
Man, we've been just gabbing it up.
Yeah. My PT Cruiser was actually a gift, and I felt real bad complaining about it. But why the fuck would you buy someone a gift that costs them $4,000 a year just to keep? That was painful. And it was the cutest car. I don't care who thinks they're ugly. I thought it was so cute, and I wanted to love it. And man, that car was a dick to me.
That sucks.
I have bad luck with cars.
I don't. have
Bad
good
luck with cars, phones, glasses. I've had these for 2 years, and that's an accomplishment.
Look at there.
I usually
You just
make it
drop
about
them, break them, sit on them.
lose them, get
Lose 'em.
drunk, accidentally throw them in the bear's dumpster
Oh well, there's all those
at
things.
4 p.m. when the sun's still up. Yeah, it happens.
Okay.
To the
all
best
right.
of us.
Yeah, no. I'm glad I don't wear glasses.
It's a tough life when you're clumsy.
Yeah, I could imagine. You don't do the contacts?
I never have. For the past few years, I just think about it for a while, and then it freaks me out, and I don't think I'm even bothered about putting something in my eye. I'm just worried about something happening with it later, like me being too much of a lazy shit to take them out before bed, and then I wake up with 2 infected eyeballs that I have to, like, scoop out myself and handle that and be an eyeball-less lady because I wasn't responsible enough to have contacts. Like, that kind of shit makes me nervous.
One pair, no spare. That's what I say.
Oh,
I've
living
been
on the
saying-
edge.
Been saying it for years. One pair of eyes, one pair, no spare.
Oh, I thought you were talking about only keeping 1 pair of contacts on you, and I was like,
I'm
Johnny.
talking about your eyes. One pair, no spare. That's what I
Man.
used to yell when, because I owned a lawn service at one point, and my guys, I had some employees that wouldn't wear safety glasses when they're weed eating, and I'd walk up to them and be like, "Hey man, safety's on or you're gone." Safety's on or
That's
you're
so
gone.
corny.
One pair, no spare. I'd fired people for it because I'm not buying an eyeball. I can't afford
We're
one.
not playing that game.
Yeah, no, I can't afford an eyeball. You're not going to sue me because you're an idiot.
Nope.
You know what I mean? It's not happening. And I let a few people go because they wouldn't. I took one guy home in the middle of cutting my biggest property, and I walked up to him and was like, "Man, I've told you 3 times, get in the truck, we're gone." And I went and dropped him off at his car and paid him, and that was that. It never worked for me again.
R.I.P.
Yeah, look, man, it's, wear your safety glasses when you weed eat. One pair, no spare. It's your
Yup.
eyes. Don't fuck around. It's your eyes.
Don't fuck around. I'm
Uh-uh.
overdue for some new glasses.
Yeah.
A new prescription. I'm getting more and more blind. I used to just be like really nearsighted. So like I needed them to like drive at night and read for a long time, and that was it. And I keep thinking that I'm still that way, so I leave the house without them all the time. And like, if I didn't know that I were sitting across from you, I would not know that it were you.
Oh, really?
Like I could definitely, if you could say, "Oh, that's Johnny," and I'd say, "Oh, fuck yeah, you're right." But
Yeah,
I could
that is
also
Johnny.
look at you and go, "Who is that guy?"
Who's that? Is that
Like,
Jim?
I'm just now getting to that point for the first time in my life. So I'll leave the house without glasses, and I'll get to Walmart and be like, "Oh, I'm fucked.
I am fucked.
This is horrible."
What does that say? Keep
Yeah.
refrigerated.
Oh my
no.
gosh, it's so bad. I'm doing this with labels in the middle of the store if I forget my glasses. So
I'm glad I don't know that life.
maybe it'll be time for LASIK eventually, and I can just be
Ugh.
free from all of it.
That shit scares me too, man.
It's a little freaky.
Well, Malls, 4/11 on Mother's Day.
We did the damn
We did
thing.
the damn thing.
And we are some bad mothers, you heard me?
You damn right. I know
Yeah.
I'm a bad mother. And I know you're a mother. Well, anyway, so don't worry about that. No, that's that old joke that, hey, happy Mother's Day, motherfucker. I said it earlier on my way to come pick you up. As a matter of fact, that one of my buddies drove past, and I said that to him. So, well, I really, really appreciate you coming and doing episode 2 with me of the Unnamed show.
Well, I had a lot of fun.
We did not accomplish our goal.
The one goal that
The
we
one
set,
goal
the
that we
one
set-
thing on our to-do list.
We did not even come close.
All right, you're making meat and you're talking, so it's drippins and lippins.
Drippins and lippins. The one that my wife said that she liked was grill and chill.
I like grill and chill,
I don't know if
grilling
it's
and
taken.
chilling.
Grilling and chilling, chilling and grilling. One of them might be taken. I thought
Meat treats with Johnny.
one of the ones that I said was put your meat on my grill.
Yeah,
Or hey, put this in your mouth.
I like that.
Hey, put this in your mouth.
And if you add your name at the end,
Yeah.
it sounds cheeky, and
Yeah.
people are less offended. Put this in your mouth with Johnny Gates.
Yeah, put this in your mouth with Johnny G.
Yeah. Or you got to make a smoking joke.
I thought about it, but
Like, smoke one.
Like somebody told me, how they have hot ones,
Yeah.
smoked ones.
Blaze it and braise it. See, so we made a little progress, if nothing else.
Blaze it and braise
We
it. I
touched
like
on the
it.
goal,
Well,
and
that,
I'm
that
proud of
changes
us.
the dynamic of the show. We have to start, we have to start blazing as we glaze.
The meat's blazed. Eventually, we will be too.
We burned it. We got really fucked up and forgot. We talked for 2.5 hours.
Still tastes good.
Yeah,
Like
no,
that
I'm
could
gonna
be
eat
a
it.
whole dynamic.
Yeah, it could be.
And then you just have to like lie about being in Louisiana or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's on the other podcast we do. I've got 2 guys, 2 hoots.
Yeah.
We hang out and we pretend like we smoke 2 hoots as we talk.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and all it is a picture of two owls up on the screen.
Drew Carey has a thing. Have you seen that? The This Isn't Happening or whatever, the Comedy Central segment
Yeah,
where they have celebrities talk
yeah,
about them
yeah.
tripping. Drew Carey does one. He says, I was at the music festival. Everyone was on drugs but me.
Yeah.
Because I host The Price is Right.
That's right. I do remember that. I did watch that one. That's a good one.
That was a great one.
So,
I think that might have been the first one I saw.
well, I hope I can have you back. I hope my fish was good. Or
Your fish was
good.
delicious. Thank you again for having me on here, and thanks for feeding me, because
No,
that was
you're very
really
wel-
good.
you're
It
very
was
welcome.
highlight of my day.
Again, I still hadn't figured out, like I was telling you, I don't know how this should work. I didn't know if you wanted to eat on camera or not.
I think that should definitely be a part of it.
Well, that's cool. Then I'll keep that. I didn't have my dad eat on camera. I did a chicken, and we just ended up eating in the house with the kids. So
Nice.
But so yeah, that might be how I keep it from here on out. Is have it like we did here, where I have the food sitting out as like presented, and then we give it a try. So I might have to time some of that stuff a little bit better, because like prime rib, you'd want hot.
Yeah.
That fish wasn't bad, chilled. You can eat it
Yeah,
anyway.
smoked salmon can.
You have it however. Like I'll be eating on this tonight. So.
Right.
But again, I really appreciate it, and hopefully I can have you back for another one.
Absolutely. I'd love to. This was fun.
Hell yeah. And I think I had a really good time with you. I think this was good. I feel like I know you a little bit better now. So and
Yeah, I feel like I learned some Johnny facts
I
today.
did not realize that we've gone an hour and 40. I thought we had only been doing it for like 35, 40 minutes.
I'm impressed with us.
Yeah, I'm impressed with that too, because it flowed pretty nice. So
Thank you, Johnny.
No, you're welcome. I really appreciate it. So that's it. Episode 2.
We'll see you next time on Drippins and Lippins.
Blazing and glazing.
Yeah.